Hi, I'm Roxanne, Content Director and Doodler here at Whirlidurb, and today I'm excited about this. I'm a little scared, a little excited, but today I am going to just let you peek into my studio as I learn to draw Santa. Okay, now I've practiced just a little bit, but I've only drawn him a couple times, and before I draw with students, I like to draw things 50 or 100 times and really get good at it. But I'm going to let you come on in and kind of peek over my shoulder as I start sketching Santa. And so here are the elements that we're going to be using in Santa. Because one of the things that's so important is face. So we're going to have that nose. And I don't know, sometimes you do his cheeks kind of peek. Some of them will do a little red nose. But he always has a nice big mustache. He's got a little tiny mouth there and his eyes are up there. The other thing Santa always seems to have on is a Santa hat, kind of like what I'm wearing today. So it always covers up the top part of his head. It's going to cover up part of his forehead. And so we have to figure out how that works, to show just a little part of his eyes and this part of his face. So come on, you can draw with me. This time, don't fold your paper. Just get a big sheet of paper and we are just going to draw Santas. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm willing to try if you'll draw with me. So get your papers and your pencils out and let's get started. It's time to draw Santa. All right, so now I'm gonna walk you through how to draw Santa. And this is gonna be a little different because, as I told you in my intro, this is not something that I have mastered. So what I'm gonna be doing today, I'm gonna be just drawing some different types of Santas, and I'm gonna walk you through kind of my thought process and how I'm gonna learn to draw Santa. So what I've got, I have several different Santas that I'm gonna be looking at as we draw. And I'm going to see how they turn out. So as we looked, we've got the Santa face. He's got a beard. He's got his little hat. So let's see. I'm going to just kind of start off and let's see how this turns out here. So as I look at it, some of the shapes I see for Santa's face, kind of interesting. We have a lot of them will have this kind of hat. You know how you've got that Santa hat? And it's got that big fluffy kind of cotton on it. It'll kind of come in a little bit because you've got your cotton around. So it will kind of come up, and generally they'll have them go over with the little puffy ball there at the end. So we've got this kind of red Santa hat that's working. Okay, so we have that. Often Santa has two very bushy eyebrows, and I'm going to have to take a couple of lines there. So he's got some eyebrows, and then we're going to have Santa's eyes underneath. I'm just use little dots there for my Santa eyes. He's going to have a nice little nose there on him. Little eyes in there. And then here's where it gets kind of tricky because he has his hair that comes all the way up, and you'll see a little bit of his face generally. He's got this little Santa face coming in here. But then he's got, right from here, they're always attached this line, and he has his mustache. All right, so I've got this kind of mustache coming here. Got one coming over on this side. So we have those. And then he's got those little fat cheeks there. So we've got some fat cheeks. And often you'll just see a little tiny Santa mouth. And then what we've got is we're going to do his, he always has like this giant beard. And so many times it almost looks like it's, kind of connected all the way up there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a big fluffy, kind of come around there, pretty big fluffy beard on our Santa here. If you want to, you might get a couple of ears on him. But a pretty big fluffy beard, as you can see. Not looking too bad there. So, and then as he comes down, you'll kind of have your Santa coming out here, have a big red Santa a Santa coat on. So if you're going to be, making a full out Santa, you'll do the belt and, everything else there. So I wanted to look at trying to draw his face. So there's our first one. Not too bad, not too bad. So the elements that I'm going to be working with each time with our different Santas, and let's darken this one in a bit. Each time we're going to be doing a kind of puffy hat, that cotton around, and we've got this as well. We're going to have a Santa hat that's on him. And this one, he had big puffy eyebrows. I just did little kind of very simple eyes. He's got a nose. He's got those little cheeks right there. I'm going to come over, coming down. Got that mustache there. I'm going to add a little mouth. If you want, you can add, just have this be complete, his beard that comes around, and simplify that. So that's our first Santa. Not too bad. Okay. Well, let's try again. There are different styles. You can do one that's really kind of simple. This one looks, I don't know how he's going to turn out. This one is very simple. And this one has more of an angular, it's kind of going that way. He's got a little nose on him. Again, he's got his little mustache on him. And there we have our little face and the little mouth under him. And then what we'll do is very simply, I'm going to put a little mustache around his beard. I'm actually going to drop that beard in a bit. Excuse me. Take this one off. And so what you'll see, this one is a very different style of our Santa. And so then coming from here, he might have coming down, maybe he's got very simple. And again, I like to put the belt on him. So you might have maybe you need a little skinnier kind of Santa. So I'm not liking him as much, but again, you can see different styles of what you can do. This one's got a little bit cleaner lines, not quite so puffy. I didn't put the eyebrows on him. A little bit different style of mustache. Just a little bit simpler lines there. I'm not liking that one near as much. So you can see once you clean up some of the eraser marks off of him. All right. So this one right here is my favorite. It's going to be our first one we did. And once we clean up those lines, wow, pretty nice. And here's our second little Santa. So let's see what else we have here. All right, so let's try him again. Oh. This one is a little bit different. I'm going to take one, and it really, as I start, I'm looking at that hat again. This one is also going to start with this hat, curving down, and this one coming. And so that's that white part of his cap. And this one, actually it comes below. This one is going to kind of curve up. Curves up, and no, this line is going to come over, and it's going to come down. I think that's going to have to play with that line a bit there. And here we have, this one also has the large eyebrows. Oh, this one has kind of almost an upside down, kind of almond-shaped eye. And it's kind of coming this way. And we're going to do the trick of darkening in the eyes, but leaving a little tiny white spot. And Okay. And this one I have my eyebrow touching the eye, and it really doesn't do that. So I'm going to bring those out just a bit. And it appears if he's going to come down, he's going to put this narrow base there. He again has a very red nose. It's going to have red cheeks here as well. So I'm going to have some red cheeks that come up. And from below that nose, coming out actually on the side, we're going to have the mustache that comes. This one comes out and it comes back in. It doesn't actually come up and touch the nose. And then underneath it, we have a mouth. Okay, so you'll see how that's kind of coming together. And again, and then from this one, this hat, I'm going to extend it out a little bit more. And I'm going to correct that line. And now we're going to take around his face, we're going to fill in and add the beard to it. And this beard, you know, we've done the kind of circular beards. This one actually is going to come almost like a teardrop. So it kind of comes down in this kind of shape. So then so you can see it almost looks like a teardrop, but the way it is drawn, put a little bigger ball there. And so what you're going to do is you're going to curve that out and kind of make it. This one has a bit of a curve, and so you're going to have some hair coming out that way. You're going to curve it down and curve it in again. And the same thing's going to happen over here as you come out. Almost looks like when we do our Christmas trees, almost. All right, so there we have it. It's got a very curly kind of look to him, and this is going to be all of his white hair in here. And okay, so then looking at it, I think that one ends up looking okay. So let's see what it looks like when we clean it up a bit. So come in here with our marker and come around. Bring that face in. Bring in. There's his eyes. And again, we're going to darken it and leave that little white spot, that little glint in his eyes. I'm going to come over here. Let's get a nice big mustache, a little mouth underneath, and then we're going to clean this up. And you can see I'm not exactly following my lines, but they give me enough so that I know when I'm kind of adding those in. So that's another type. That set has very, very curly hair. And what you'll see then is once I come back, after I've darkened in my lines, I always call that making my commitment to my line. I'm kind of liking this little guy pretty well. Not too bad. And then, of course, you know, you would see him. He would, of course, have his nice big shoulders coming out. And below here, we come down and we put that nice big belt buckle on him. So there you see the beginnings of a nice size Saint Nick. Just have it kind of come in a bit there, kind of sketching in. Not too bad. So those are a couple probably most realistic. This one actually looks like, that one looks, I think, would go more into my style. This one, I don't really like him. I don't know that. It kind of looks like a feller instead of a mustache. So there it is. There's, you know, my beginnings of how to draw a Santa. And so what I encourage you to do is, you know, if you want to slow it down and try a couple of those, it really is, again, we're going to focus on those key elements of your Santa. So if you're drawing your Santa, what are those key elements? All right, you're going to have your hat. Nice big red hat. And then down here we're going to have our bushy eyebrows. Oh, I really like those. We do have our bushy eyebrows. We've got that round, the nose. You always look at how that nose and the mustache turns out. You can kind of look at those to see. And then also, you know, the final is going to be that nice fluffy white beard. So, you know, you'll add in those elements and it really kind of, it'll all come together. And what I encourage you to do is just keep practicing so that you'll design your style. And I think this one over here, in my opinion, that's probably going to be the simplest one to do. Well, I'm Roxanne Clauser here at Whirlidurb, and I hope you have, you know, enjoyed this, and I hope you work on your Santas, keep practicing, and join us again. Thank you so much.